Good evening, guys. It's Grey Wolf, and we are getting back into what we started off with yesterday, which is finishing up the parking lot for the viewing center at the spaceport. So we were doing this yesterday with James. We were doing this on Twitch, and it was pretty much just getting most of it done. I mean, we're at the point where we're going to be spreading the gravel now. So we've kind of busted out the bulldozer and we're laying the gravel down, but we're doing it with the bulldozer laying the gravel down, not just spreading it with the dump trucks. And the reason I'm doing that is just because I like to make the jobs a little more complicated than they need to be. Let's see, which one is our autofill? Doesn't seem to be set up on this setting, so controls, we're going to go to our controller. I have it set to arcade because the arcade is my bulldozer setup. And if I switch it over to right stick, left or right, I actually end up switching it to my excavator setup. Let's go down to the dump truck. There we go, dumper. We're gonna do the autofill. This button, autofill sand is gonna be that button, and autofill gravel is gonna be this button, and then we're gonna change the empty bulk to this button there. Okay. Now I can do this. Just okay. Super easy. I skip all of the context menu parts. We just get right into it. James and I were working on this together as a team. We were kind of taking it a little more seriously, but I want to get this done. So I don't want to spend too much of your guys' time watching me drive back and forth to the gravel plant. Let's get right to what I'm here to do, which is to spread this gravel with the bulldozer. We'll see how this looks. Okay. Dump truck is empty. Now it's time to get into our bulldozer. I chose the case because it's smaller, and I can use the blade left and right to kind of spread the gravel a little better. And I have the gas pedal, so I don't have to press anything. I have the gas pedal as my accelerator for my tracks and the reverse for my reverse. So I don't have to use the controllers at all to go back and forth, but I also have it set up so that pushing forward on the joystick does move the bulldozer forward. It also moves it left and right. That just gives me a little more control. I also have it so that the trigger and the buttons are back and forth. So I can pull the trigger and go forward, I can push the button and go backwards. Lots of different ways. This is my bulldozer setup for the joysticks. It just gives me a little more control of the bulldozer, depending on how I want to utilize it. Do I want to push forward if I'm pushing soil? Do I want a little more control? We use the gas pedal. And sometimes my brain forgets what we're doing, and so I have 3 different options to move the bulldozer back and forth. You want to be careful not to push into the gravel too much, because if you do, you will actually remove the gravel from the job site, and you'll see your percentage actually go down. So you have to be careful not to do that. And with the new soil compaction um, update, you can also, you'll see that if you drive over any lumps of gravel, it will automatically flatten that gravel out, and you can also lose valuable gravel that you are supposed to be spreading. So just be aware of that, not to drive over as best you can, not to drive over any bumps of gravel. Just try to spread it as best that you can. And I always go with a kind of a high. You can see how much of that gravel is sitting there above the soil. I think that's a pretty safe bet. And then you can just go back over it one more time and spread it. But like this, just be careful that you don't go too far into the gravel. You'll start digging up dirt, and then you're gonna end up ruining the spread. You can see we still have a pretty big amount of gravel there that we can spread. So what we can do from here is stick the blade in just a little bit, just almost like you're shaving the gravel. And you see we got a little bit more, and then lift that blade up just as you come towards the end. Not too bad, 62% now. Can you get 100% from just throwing the dirt down, throwing the gravel down? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. And it might be faster. It really would be faster to do that. But where's the fun in that? I mean, we could even use skid steers if we wanted. We could use some skid steers and spread this out, but the bulldozer, as much use as it does get, I almost feel like I never really get to use it as much as I would like to. I think it's gotten overshadowed by the wheel loaders that can kind of come in and do the same job as the bulldozer can, and especially with topsoil removal jobs. And then sometimes the bulldozers aren't really used for what they're needed for. In some cases, I've seen people dig out entire pits with bulldozers just by pushing all the dirt into an area where the dirt essentially disappears. Could I use the wheel loader? Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, skid steers even. I've actually managed to spill a bunch of gravel one time while we were building the vehicle transport center, the vehicle assembly building. Managed to spill a bunch of gravel, and I had to use the skid steer to clean it all up. Did a really, really good job. It did a really good job of cleaning it all up. I mean, all the way down to scraping the gravel right off of the dirt and putting it back into the truck. Pretty good, yeah? Make sure we don't drive over these ledges because we're going to lose gravel that way. We need to maintain as much gravel as we can. We could also go over this with the moto grader, but I believe the moto grader, if we don't level it, will actually end up removing some of the percentage of our gravel because it will start to mix the gravel with the soil. And like I was saying earlier, we simply don't want that to happen. If that happens, you're losing percentages. Now this is on high scope, so it does take every bit of me to spread the gravel properly to get that 100%. Although I don't need to spread it completely, I don't have to spread it 100% exactly. If I just kind of mess around with this, I could waste a lot of time. You might argue that I'm wasting time right now. I disagree. I think this is actually a lot more fun than just driving the trucks. Actually, we might end up getting close to 99% just from dumping this gravel. Yeah. Take what we got. We'll spread the rest. Now, if you wanted to do 100% exactly, and that's for any of these tasks on the contracts, leave a vehicle within the blue lines, and the task will not update. And then you can go ahead and continue doing whatever it is that you're doing to give yourself the full immersion of the game. In this case, I'm spreading the gravel with the bulldozer instead of just like laying it down with the dump truck. If I wanted to really take this to 100% exactly and cover all of this using the bulldozer and gravel, all I would have to do is park a vehicle inside the blue lines, and I could go back and forth all day long with this. Pretty gravy, right? Pretty gravy. I think so. Now we need to compact it. Maybe run the compactor. I had grabbed the belt power ones, so, or the, like I said, we were going to have a double team on this. We had Weekend James with me last night on Twitch. We were running this together. The idea was to do it as a team, as a pair, but this parking lot cannot wait. Let's go ahead to our settings, controls, go over to our Thrustmaster on the right stick. Now there is equipment on and off. Assign that, thumb. Now, okay. Settings, control. Function modifiers set to our keyboard, set to our maybe it's on compactor. No? One of these activates the function of the machine. Let's see if it's this one. the one. Function mode, I know is one of them. Function on and off. Okay, let's try this one. Function on and off. So this is going to be for the compactors. There we go. We want that automatic setup. So now we have it so that we just press this and we can turn on and off our compactor as well as our miller, cold planer, the asphalt paver. So the reason I chose this smaller compactor is because I wanted to make sure that both of us could operate inside this parking lot, which is a pretty small parking lot, and not have any kind of spatial issues running into each other. Plus, the Wackernussen doesn't get. I mean, these machines are great, and this is a free DLC, free downloadable content for Construction Simulator, but I don't think it gets the same kind of love that it deserves. Use my backup mirror, see where I'm at, try to line up so that I'm compacting exactly where I need to be. So look at the corner, see my mirrors, using them to try to line up with my seat. should be the last pass. Get us to 100%. After that, it's going to be the asphalt truck and asphalt paver. And then after that, it's a vibrating compactor, and we're done with the parking lot for the viewing center. I see this little square over here. Just gotta get that. Okay. We leveled up, so we got a new skill point we can use. Asphalt and asphalt compaction. So let's go ahead and take a look at our vehicles here. We've got quite a few that we can return. I would use these guys, but they're going to be too small for time. And we could also store you. We could definitely store you. Oh, sell. I mean, no way. Let's go ahead and deal it. And we'll get our asphalt paver. Let's use the Vogel. Haven't used that one before. And for the compactor, this is the biggest vibrating compactor that you can get in the game, the new Sani 130. Let's jump into our vehicles. Let's get them here. I don't think I've ever used this one before. I really don't think I've used this one before. We also have it set up for tracks forward and backwards. And then we'll grab the compactor as well. Yeah, interesting. I have not used this machine yet. Let's see what we have these plates set to. That's activation. Okay, and there we go. There's the plates. Cool. Everything's set up on our joysticks here. The only thing is we need to fill it up with asphalt. Now, play. What a nifty machine. If you have a panel, you can of course use your panel to operate this machine. Give yourself some more immersion. If you have panel and joysticks and steering wheel, you are on top of the world in terms of simulating in any game, really. Go ahead and fill her back up because she's done here. Now, I'm going to do this real quick. We're going to lift the plates. just like that. We are getting the parking lot paved out pretty quick. Um, I'm not really a big fan of asphalt laying, although it's a really great feature in this game. I love that we get to do this kind of roadwork stuff. It's a different gameplay cycle. Not the biggest fan of it. Nothing wrong with it, honestly. I think it's a pretty cool thing to play. But I'm sure I'm not the only one who considers making this as quick and painless as possible. Alright, last spot. Alright. Not the cleanest laid asphalt laying job here, but I think it'll do. Either way, it's such a cool machine when you look at it, how it operates. Got a bit of ground to cover here. A lot of this gravel is still missing some asphalt. So let's do one more pass this way. Cover up this. And then I think the entrance to the parking lot is going to be what will finish us up at 100%. Oh, we got a big chunk back there, holy moly. Oh yeah, quite a bit. big part of it right here is this ledge. I feel like that's the most tedious thing. I would do vibrating compacting all day over asphalt laying, but some people enjoy that stuff, and more power to you. I think it's still a fun machine to use, and certainly a very interesting machine to use. Not knocking it for sure. Okay, it's time to get into the biggest vibrating compactor that's available to you, and that is the Sany 130S. We won't need, of course, look at how big this thing is. It's sizable. I mean, when you put it next to the other vibrating compactors, you can tell the difference immediately. It's almost like it was purpose-built for the Spaceport DLC map because the jobs are so big on this DLC map. Nice quiet interior too. the design of it is C85. It's the STR130C C85 Sony vibrating compactor. It's got a cool design, color scheme. Probably my favorite compactor now. Besides the Wacker-Neuson, that little one is kind of fun. Just the open air, small. Feels like I'm on like a motorcycle of compactors. Can we get this done before nighttime? It's already kind of dark inside this cab. Nighttime's approaching quick. %, almost there. Don't recommend driving over the sidewalk exactly. Oh man, just barely beat the day-night cycle. Let's go ahead and get off the site. The parking lot is done, so I think this whole area is actually finished now. The viewing center is done, the cafe is finished. That's right. Pretty happy with the results there. Let's go ahead and return this. Pay our rental fees. All right. Look at that, guys. The parking lot is done. That means that this area has gone from a rundown, beat up, old, like warehouse with overgrown trees to a viewing center and a concession stand. And as you can see, there's more and more people starting to appear in this world. And as it goes, I will eventually have people driving through the town. This is an abandoned island at this point, but right now, my people, they're slowly migrating into the island as we build more and more attractions for them to see, more and more places for them to visit, and of course, more opportunities for them to be employed with all of the warehouses that we're building, the concession stands, the viewing center, of course, being one of them. There's still quite a bit to do. There's still a lot for us to develop here. And as we continue working, we're going to see that develop. I believe there's going to be an ice cream stand over here or something like that. If we didn't, yeah, the mess hall is going to get upgraded. That looks terrifying. I wouldn't want to eat there at all. This is, of course, the operations center, and then we've got the warehouse next to it that's going to be built. Once we get the research center done, we'll start seeing some more traffic out here. And we'll be seeing a lot more materials being moved in and out of the island from the shore. The launch site is going to be the biggest one that we work on. And fortunately, there's also some agriculture out here. So we will have our farmers and sustainable food source as well. The vehicle launch center is done. So we managed to save that. We managed to save the company that was financing this whole operation by getting that finished. And we still have a lot to do, guys. So I look forward to seeing you in the next one. The sky is not the limit in this. We are reaching for the stars, and it's all here on Construction Simulator. And this is Grey Wolf from Grey Wolf Construction signing out. See you guys in the next one, and thank you for tuning in.